All right. Welcome everyone to our webinar on strategy to execution, how to bridge the gaps of cross-organizational transformation. My name is Simon. I work for Trisotech, and I'm going to introduce you to Omar, who's going to be doing this webinar. So Omar, all yours. You're muted, Omar. I'm sorry.
Thank you, Simon. Thanks, Simon, and thank you everyone joining us today. And to those of you joining us for the first time, welcome aboard. Once again, this webinar is intended for all stakeholders in the organization, so if you're involved in discovering processes, process improvement, or digital transformation, this is for you. In our previous webinar, we discussed that digital transformation is in reality business transformation, and that business user involvement is essential in growing and improving the enterprise. We also discovered how new tools are enabling business users to participate in and lead the business transformation process. Today we have a few more key points to make, specifically that beyond process discovery and automation, organizers and organizations face some major challenges in their quest for digital transformation, and to meet these challenges, IT organizations should start collaborating as partners with the business rather than act as a technology consultant. And finally, that new tools are enabling business and IT to bridge the gaps and collaborate on the business transformation process. In the survey we were introduced to last time, the importance of linking business outcomes to IT investment strategy, conducted by IDG and published in 2016 by Datalink, the results showed that 56%, or more than half the respondents, are thinking of streamlining their operational processes to more effectively drive business outcomes through IT investments. And we also saw last time that the results show that 38% believe that increasing standardization will drive better business outcomes. Difficulty standardizing and streamlining business processes was found to be the greatest challenge in driving business outcomes via IT investments, and the challenge of the need for automation was a very close second. It was also found that difficulty keeping up with the demand for new application development, poor communication between IT and line of business, and a general lack of support or sponsorship from executive management were the next top challenges respectively. And here we get the first big question, which is how do we improve IT's impact on business outcomes? And according to the new McKinsey Global Survey on Business Technology, the answer lies in partnership. According to the new survey, IT organizations that play a partner role that is actively collaborating with the rest of the business to shape an overall business strategy tend to perform better on a number of dimensions, including the delivery of core services and the creation of a healthy organizational culture. The McKinsey survey says, to better serve companies, perform effectively, and meet emerging challenges, executives say that their IT organizations should collaborate as partners to the business. When IT acts as a partner to the business rather than as a technology consultant or a supplier of IT services, the benefits are striking. For example, digital initiatives in companies where IT plays a partner role are further along in both implementation and achieving business impact. Pressure on IT to perform as a partner will only increase with the expansion of digital programs. 91%, and that is more than 9 in 10, say that their companies are already pursuing a digital agenda. So partnerships between business and IT will only become more important over time. McKinsey goes on to say, we asked all executives about the role IT plays at their organizations. Few say IT is currently a partner, but both in IT and business sides, about 3 times as many executives believe that IT should be a partner at their organizations. When IT partners with the business, the benefits are far-reaching. In the survey, McKinsey looked at 14 specific dimensions of IT's performance and found that partnership has an impact on its effectiveness in each one. For example, while 35% of executives at companies where IT is a partner say that the IT works completely or very effectively with the business, only 14% say the same at companies where IT plays the role of a consultant or supplier. The results also indicate a continued misalignment between IT and business executives on IT's priorities. For the 4th survey in a row, the results indicate sizable gaps in how business and IT executives view priorities for IT. As we see here, for example, 44% of executives in IT say that cutting costs is one of their organization's current top priorities for IT. In contrast to this view, business executives rank cutting costs last, with only 16% citing it as one of their company's priorities for IT. Over 40% of IT executives view cutting costs as a main priority, while only 16% of non-IT executives are worried about the costs of IT as long as it helps them meet their business goals. Every industry now requires that companies close this gap between IT and business. Companies looking to make this transition must first rethink of the business role of IT. Corporate IT is being forced into a groundbreaking transformation. For companies to succeed in this age of digital transformation, they must transform IT from a service provider to a strategic business partner. This shift comes as a result of changes in the business and IT environments that have accelerated the pace of commercial activities and forced companies to get closer to customers and understand them better than ever before. This is the result of a long transition that most world-class IT departments have been making from service providers to strategic partners. Top CIOs have learned to provide technology services with the focus on deriving optimum business value from IT. This means a shift in the conversation about IT from cost and service levels to value creation and how technology can be leveraged for innovation and gaining a competitive edge. This partnership model depends on the business taking a much greater role in designing, building, and exploiting the technology platforms and data. This is a necessary step towards bringing IT closer to its true mission, assisting the business teams in improving the company's business outcomes. But making this move will require a careful balancing act, and companies looking to move towards a stronger IT business partnership must make some steps to ensure their success. First and foremost, IT and business leaders must reimagine how they work together, and any shift in responsibilities from IT to business must rest on a rock-solid framework of processes, quality standards, and agreeing who makes decisions. Second key point, you should also make sure you know the answers to a broad set of readiness questions like, do benefits of a business unit-specific solution outweigh the benefits of a common solution across all business units? And how technologically mature is the business unit under consideration? Can it actually choose and exploit the technology that it needs to carry out its strategy? And these questions can help identify which business units can make the transformation first. The third key point is that new technologies allow business users to participate in traditional IT functions like tool selection, application pilots, and organizational learning, and reinforce the benefits of the IT business partnership. Any gaps in capabilities, processes, and talent need to be identified in these early stages, and additional efforts may be needed to meet the requirements of this new design. Trisotech's Digital Enterprise Suite has been created to facilitate this IT business partnership. It's an IT and business-friendly toolset designed to be used by business people and IT people alike. And now we come to our case study today. EU Rent is a fictitious company that provides car rental services across Western Europe and North America, similar to other premium car rental companies such as Avis and Hertz. In the following demo, we will show you how using the Trisotech Digital Enterprise Suite, the business users and IT users can collaborate on planning and designing the enterprise, and how our new technology gives decision makers access to the information they need to support their planning and decision making. And you should be able to see my Trisotech Digital Enterprise server screen right now. This screen is the screen that gives us access to all the components of the Digital Enterprise Suite. In our demo last time, we showed how the business users can use Discovery Accelerator for strategizing and planning their enterprise. In today's demo, we'll expand on this and we'll show you how using the Trisotech DES, the business and IT team can collaborate on planning and designing the enterprise. And most importantly, we'll show you how the new tools provide visibility and access to the needed information for decision makers to support their planning and help improve their organization's business outcomes. So here we have the Discovery Accelerator, we have the BPMN modeler, we have the Case Management and Notation modeler, we also have our Decision Management and Notation modeler, and we have the Insight Analyzer. For our purposes today, we're going to start with the Discovery Accelerator. As I see here, I have a blank screen. And last time when we used the Discovery Accelerator, we started with a blank screen and started building a process. Today, I'm going to actually use the process that we built before, and I'm going to get it from my repository here. To remind everyone of what we built last time, we started with a goal template over here, which was our business scorecard board. And here it has a collection of our goals, which are internal and business processes, financial, customer, and learning and growth. We actually started developing a process called car rental activities to tie to some of these goals and help us maintain or achieve them. And we went about them by adding the different activities related to the process, and we went to the back of the cards and we were able to add our W5s. So here we have all the information related to the activity on the back of the card. Who, what, when, where, and why. If I wanted to add a goal here, I can say, for instance, to have 100% car availability for rental at the airport. And I can close this. I also have time, cost, value, quality, gaps, and attachments that I can add to each one of these different activities. I also went over the relation charts to be able to associate actors with activities. And we can change this from actors and activities to goal and activities to something like achieve and maintain. And this helps you solidify the decision rights and who's going to be making what decisions during the process. We also use something like text. This is where you're able to use corporate documentation or evidence-based discovery to build your process. And here we took a full text that relates to EU general operations, and we were able to identify different components of the text and categorize them as activities, artifacts, goals, and activities. And when we go back to the board, we see it here represented on the board as well. Another very popular feature that business users like to use on the Discovery Accelerator is using user stories. And this was a method that was made popular by the Agile methodology people. And as you see here, it's a very simple strategy. You just use a simple story. You start with an actor, activity, and a goal. And this adds your user story and ties the activity and goal and the actor on the back of the card. So for instance, if I go here, I believe this is a user story. EU rent branch wants to check customer background so that during fourth quarter of the current year, the average processing time is less than 5 minutes per case. And as you can see, the story ties to the back of the card, and it's represented when we print it out in the report as well. What we want to do today is a little bit different. Here we have a process that was developed to meet these some of these goals. The team today wants to start developing vision and strategy. And the way they want to go about doing that is by using the accelerators. The accelerators that are provided across all the modelers of the Digital Enterprise Suite are a predefined set of frameworks and processes that can be reused, and these can be your own processes in the form of Digital Enterprise Graph, or these can be best practice and benchmark frameworks that are made available to the team as well. So here the team wants to use the APQC process classification framework, and this is one of the most widely used frameworks across all industries. And to start using this, we're going to click on APQC, and we're going to start clicking on cross-industry PCF because we don't want the banking one. And here we can click on process definitions, and we see that develop vision and strategy is over here, and this is the one that we want to work on. By clicking on it, it becomes evident that it actually splits into three main initiatives. For our purposes today, I want to take this over here, and I want to start working on this first part. So as you can see, you can simply take it and add the new collection here on the canvas and just drop it. And you see that it adds all these new activities that relate directly to this part. And if I click over here on the half moon shape, it will show me which parts of the accelerator are actually used in my process right now. And I can go here, and it shows me that they're actually kind of highlighted as well, so I can keep track of what are the new parts that were added to the screen. Here I see that there is a new goal that was added. And since my goals are at the top, I can just drag this simply to the top here and see if I want to drop this in financial, customer, or internal business. This says that it's supplemental information about revenue, so I'm going to drop it in financial. And you see here that it creates a sub process of increased more than 4% over the year, and the supplemental information shows me that this is part of this information. And I can close this all up. I can go over here to my new activities, and I can start associating them with different actors. So here in Assess the External Environment, I can go to the entire collection and decide who wants to do this part. So here I have a marketing and analysis team that will be responsible for assessing the external environment. Here, survey, market, and determine customer needs and wants. This can also be responsibility for marketing and analysis team. Conduct organization restructuring opportunities. This could be part of quality assurance team's responsibilities. And then I can also go into the relation charts. And I can highlight here to see which of my goals still need activities to be associated with them. And as you can see here, I have a bunch of goals that don't have any activities that are required to achieve or maintain them, and this notifies me that I need to start working on that. Alternatively, I can click on the activities band here and see that offer discounts, check customer background, and hand over car to customer are not necessarily tied to any goals right now for achieving or maintaining them. And this notifies me that something needs to be done here. So check customer background can definitely be tied to making a reservation at least, and this will be part of achieving and maintaining it, and when I'm done with it, it disappears from here. Now I can also take all this and send it to the BPMN modeler, and just to give you a look over here, this is my entire board. So here I see that I have car rental activities, I also have assessing external environments, I have performing internal analysis, surveying market and determining customer needs and wants. So I have a bunch of different processes that don't necessarily relate to each other, but it's part of this discovery session. When I click on export to the BPMN 2.0 modeler, open in the BPMN modeler, I'll see that it takes all the processes that I went about discovering and mapping out today, and it sent it to the BPMN modeler, and they actually have different files as well. Let's use the screen. All right, so here is my main car rental activity process. This is the one that I worked on the most, and I have all my different pools here in my swim lane. So I have the parts that are done by the customer, I have the parts that are done by the rental agent, I have the parts that are done both by EU Rent and the rental agent together. I have a discretionary action here, which is offering the discount. And then when I go to the other ones that I use from the accelerator, I see that it starts a simple process that gives me who's responsible for it and what activities are within this pool. And then I can add business logic or I can expand this process. But the main point is I started with a benchmark framework that is an APQC adherent process, and I know what I'm doing at this point, and then I can just come here and collaborate on it together with the business team and IT team, adding both their inputs. And this is something that was not available before. Like literally in a couple of clicks, I dragged an entire process with all these different parts of it, and it's dissected into 5 different files for me in the BPMN modeler while I was just sitting there and discovering everything at the same time. In addition to this, one of the most important features of the Digital Enterprise Suite and what we're trying to do today is the Insight Analyzer. And this provides a very clear vision to both IT and business executives of what's going on in the enterprise. So we just saw right now that we created a board vision view of all the different activities, actors, artifacts, and different processes as well. Here in the Insight Analyzer, I get a high-level view of this. So I see that I have a total of 198 nodes, and those are the total number of files that are in my enterprise right now that is called Webinar EU Rent. I also see that there are 4 files that contribute to building this whole repository, and that 2 of them are discovery files and 2 of them are BPMN files. This means that if I notice something that needs changing, I know exactly where to go to make these changes. When I look at the Analyze tab, I also see that 42% are activities, 25% are actors, 17% are goals, and it shows me at the bottom here that my enterprise is primarily focused on activities. In the alignment phase, I see that I'm 1% aligned with APQC, which is what we used earlier by simply taking it and dragging on the canvas. I am 1% aligned with a benchmark framework. So if I spend a day working using APQC, I can make sure that at the end of the day, I'm 50% aligned with frameworks that I want to be using for future processes. And this is a huge benefit for business people that are not really sure how to go about building new processes. And in the details section, this is where you can take a look at all your activities, actors, goals. The most impressive feature here is the graph look. So here, this is my entire enterprise in graphical form. These are all the activities, actors, goals, artifacts, and files that were used to build this enterprise in my repository. And I can do something like actually search for a certain thing that I want to look at. So here, if I check customer background, you'll see that it searches it for you and actually highlights it. And if I click on my hierarchy node over here, I can see that it comes from car rental activities, which is a process inside of strategy and planning, which is a discovery file. Now, this looks pretty straightforward and simple, but I know that it has much more information that it's showing me right now. So all I need to do is right-click on it and click on this plus sign. And as you can see, it shows me all the relationship that it has with all the different components of the process in Discovery Accelerator and in the BPMN modeler. So this shows you the real connection and interconnectivity between check customer background that is currently residing in this file in strategy and planning and how it relates to check customer background here because it's the same activity in diagram form in this BPMN file. And it actually gives me the entire relationship between all the other activities that the rental agent has to do as well. So here as an executive, whether IT or business that kind of wants to see what check customer background is, I'm not just getting the view of the check customer background in its original file. I'm getting all the other activities that this same actor has to do in this file and how they all relate to being transformed into a process in this file and how they're all diagrammed. And this is the heart of collaboration between IT and business executives and people that are actually working on these processes. You no longer have to go and look at each individual file to realize what's really happening. You can just come here, and when you go back, you see that check customer background is a child of car rental activities, and it's the responsibility of the rental agent. So if I click on car rental activities, this is the actual process. And here I see that it comes from this discovery file, and it's a parent of requesting a car model. It's also, the parent of handing over the car to the customer. Everything that ties to car rental activities, this is the parent of. And if I go even further over here, I'll see that this file contains a bunch of goals and that it has financial goals, customer goals, learning and growth, and internal procedure goals. And by clicking on them, I'll get to see what is, deeper in there as well. So this provides you a very, very clear visual on what's going on in your organization, and business as well as IT executives love having transparency and being able to put their fingers on any gaps that need to be fixed for impact analysis or for improving your current enterprise. All right. So to summarize what we went over today, for companies to succeed in the age of digital transformation, IT must transform from a service provider to a strategic business partner. New tools are enabling business and IT to partner up and collaborate on their business transformation process, and all you need to do to start is solidify your company's processes and agree on who does what. Determine business readiness and adopt the right tools, pilot, learn, and improve. And digital initiatives in companies that have followed this partnership model are further along in both implementation and achieving business impact. And don't forget to tune in and join us next time. Our next webinar is Thursday, June 30th, and we'll be covering a hot topic in today's digital transformation world: DMN, CMMN, and BPMN, the triple crown of process improvement standards. We'll learn all about these three different modelers, what benefits they bring to the world of process improvement, and when and why to use them. And again, keep in mind that we've only used about 10% of the Digital Enterprise Suite so far in both demos. So if you'd like to schedule an individual demo to see the full potential of our tools or ask any specific questions about your business needs, please feel free to email me at my email address provided below there. I'll be happy to schedule a session with you and answer any questions that you have. And Simone, I'm going to pass you back to answer any questions that our attendees have.
Yeah, sure. So anyone that have a quick question, we have a few minutes left. You can use the GoToWebinar tool to ask questions, and I'll direct them to Omar. So I don't have questions yet, Omar. I know that someone is raising his hand, but I would prefer if you use the questions and type them. So we'll give a few minutes for the questions. I have a
And
partial
I'm always
questions,
open
but
to getting questions into my email account, so if you want to send me an email after the call with any specific questions, I'm also open to that as well. I'm sorry, go ahead, Simon.
Yep. So we have here a question of someone asking, can you enter relationships between goal and activities?
Yes, actually. Let me pull up the demo screen again to show you how that is done. So if I go to my relation charts over here, and between goals and activities, this is my achieve and maintain screen. I can highlight here to see which goals haven't been associated with activities yet, or if I want to start the other way around, I can see which activities need to be assigned to their goals. But we can definitely associate the achieve and maintain here. Offer discounts maybe would be part of. There you go. And this way I got rid of this part and I made it as part of achieving this goal.
Good, thanks. All right, so I have a few more questions, but I have like 5 more questions and we will not have time to go through all of them. So what I'll suggest, I'll send you the questions and maybe you can answer them in private.
Absolutely, absolutely. Please feel free to send me the questions and I'll get back to each and every attendee personally.
Perfect. So thank you, Omar. Thank you, everyone, for listening on to this webinar. So we'll see you next month. Thank you very much. Bye, everyone.